Hello, everybody. It's been a while. If my microphone sounds a little different, it's because the cord on my usual mic is broken. I'm using a headset. That's part of the reason I haven't put out any videos lately. But today's video was a little too important to not cover. So I saw these headlines the other day. Biden's top science advisor bullied and demeaned subordinates according to White House investigation. 14 current and former Office of Science and Technology policy staffers who worked under Eric Lander described a toxic work environment. Well, as soon as I saw Eric Lander's face, I kind of recognized his name. It rung some bells. And that's because he popped up during my Final Revolution series looking into Jeffrey Epstein's MIT research. Here, Eric Lander is in Epstein's MIT office. Now, let's rewind a little and look at a press release from the whitehouse.gov, June 2021. What they are saying: science is back. Scientists, academics, and key policymakers applaud Dr. Lander's Senate confirmation to serve as director of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. Tomorrow, Dr. Lander will be sworn in to become the first ever Office and Science Technology Policy Director and Presidential Science Advisor to serve in the President's Cabinet, elevating science and technology as central drivers of solutions to critical national challenges. Today, key leaders in public policy, science, and academia welcomed Dr. Eric Lander as the 11th Director of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy on the heels of his unanimous confirmation by the U.S. Senate on Friday. Dr. Lander also serves as the President's Science Advisor, providing the President with scientific and technological analysis and judgment on issues, policies, plans, and programs of the federal government. I wonder if he advised him on ethics as well. The leaders praised Dr. Lander's ability to bring together diverse communities to achieve historic, science-based results in his commitment to scientific integrity. By elevating the OSTP to cabinet level for the first time in U.S. history, President Biden made clear that science and technology will play a central role in addressing the nation's most pressing challenges and most promising opportunities. OSTP's mission is to maximize the benefit of science and technology to advance health, prosperity, security, environmental quality, and justice for all Americans. And let's see what some of the policymakers are saying. National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease Director Anthony Fauci: I look forward to working with Dr. Lander, who personifies collaborative and cross-disciplinary science. Eric has been a valued colleague and friend for many years. He is a true polymath, a scientific leader, geneticist, molecular biologist, mathematician, teacher, and science communicator, whose keen intelligence and vision will serve the research enterprise well. And from Fauci's boss, National Institute of Health Director Francis Collins: I could not be happier to see my longtime colleague Eric Lander confirmed as the White House Science Advisor. Eric's brilliance, vision, creativity, and ability to inspire others were clear as we worked together on the Human Genome Project. As the first life scientist to serve in this position, the first to be given a cabinet position, I predict he will have a profound and transformational effect on American science. If you've been keeping up with the series, you'll find that the Human Genome Project plays a central role in the Final Revolution series, which was founded by George Church, who, of course, by now you will be familiar with. And let's just get a bit of Elizabeth Warren's ironic statement. Dr. Lander is a scientist to his bones. He recognizes that the scientific community is strongest when it is diverse and inclusive. The world-renowned Broad Institute, with which Eric co-founded, is a majority women-led and is consistently recognized for its progressive workplace programs. Guess that makes Eric a male feminist, right? So what did Eric Lander get up to? Why was he forced to resign after only maybe 8 months in office? What mistreatment of staff was he doing? Well, an internal review last year, prompted by a workplace complaint, found evidence that Lander the Director of Office and Science and Technology Policy and Science Advisor to Biden, bullied staffers and treated them disrespectfully. The White House rebuked Lander over his treatment of staff, but initially signaled on Monday that he would be allowed to remain on the job, despite Biden's day one assertion that he expected honesty and decency from all who worked in his administration and would fire anyone who shows disrespect to others on the spot. Later on, though, Lander resigns, saying, "I am devastated that I caused hurt to past and present colleagues by the way in which I have spoken to them. I believe it is not possible to continue effectively in my role, and the work of this office is far too important to be hindered." The founding director of the Broad Institute of MIT and Harvard, Lander is a mathematician and molecular biologist. He was lead author of the first paper announcing the details of the human genome, the so-called Book of Life. His confirmation to his role in the Biden administration was delayed for months as senators sought more information about meetings he had with the late Jeffrey Epstein, a disgraced financier who was charged with sex trafficking before his suicide. Before he didn't kill himself. Lander was also criticized for downplaying the contributions of two Nobel Prize-winning female scientists. At his confirmation hearing last year, Lander apologized for a 2016 article he wrote that downplayed the work of the female scientists. At the hearing, he also called Epstein an abhorrent individual. Lander said that he understated the importance of those key advances by biochemists Emmanuel Charpentier and Jennifer Doudna. The two were later awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. I believe that was 2020 they got the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. And for another coincidence here, George Church is really sore about being left off the prize because they can only name 3 people. And so they named this one team when Church believes that his team was at least equally, if not more, influential in the discovery. And he's a little saucy about being left off. But when the lab that you work at is founded by Jeffrey Epstein, I guess you can't complain too much, right? It's kind of going to happen. It's going to be expected. In fact, the Jeffrey Epstein Foundation claims to be a financial sponsor of Eric Lander.
And then Senator Duckworth mentioned Jeffrey Epstein. We asked for information regarding the second time you met with him in 2012. Can you commit to fulfilling this outstanding request for information?
Yes, sir, I can. May I say something about Epstein?
Certainly.
Jeffrey Epstein was an abhorrent individual, and my heart goes out to his victims. I chose to have no association whatsoever with him. We never requested funds. We never received funds from him, from his foundation. The sum total of my interactions was that I met him briefly at 2 events within the span of 3 weeks in the spring of 2012.
Okay, well, I think it's important that you be given a
I will,
chance
and I'm saying,
that.
and I did not know about his sordid history before that point.
Right.
As soon as I learned about it, I had nothing to do with him thereafter.
If you could simply answer our
Yes, sir, I will.
specific question, I think it would help
Absolutely.
your case, and I think people on both sides of the dais would be well served.
Absolutely.
Bill Gates also seems to be a fan of Lander, although I suspect this tweet is just the tip of the iceberg. As I believe I mentioned earlier, Eric Lander is the director of the Broad Institute at MIT. In 2011 here, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has a grant listed to the Broad Institute. The purpose, to identify novel, unique, small molecules from the Broad Institute's diversity-oriented synthesis library that target the malaria parasite as well as ones that target the causative agent of tuberculosis. But here's another grant from December 2019, and you'll see this one has some very auspicious timing. Its purpose to monitor the circulation of known and novel pathogens and to provide critical intelligence to guide public health strategies for preventing and controlling epidemics through the use of pathogen genetic sequences in LMIC. Date December 2019. Like I say, very auspicious timing, $1.7 million for a 31-month duration. Grant topic, vaccine development. Just another funny coincidence, guys. And of course, just another mere coincidence in this long list of mere coincidences. Eric Lander is a member of the Edge Club, who says Eric Lander is a professor of biology at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, a member of the Whitehead Institute, and director of the Broad Institute of MIT and Harvard, who has devoted his career toward realizing the promise of the human genome for medicine. He is co-chair of U.S. President Barack Obama's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology. Serving in the Obama administration would have put him in a government position while he was associating with Jeffrey Epstein. So I covered this today to fill in some of the gaps that I missed in my original coverage and to reinforce the idea of just how deep this goes and high up in administration. It shows yet deeper links to Anthony Fauci and the COVID pandemic response, which were worrying enough before you realize how many of these people are in positions of, extreme authority, creating national policy and pandemic response and vaccine policy. For example, here's Eric Lander chatting with Anthony Fauci on the NIH website about his briefing on the NIAID COVID-19 response, February 2021. So that's before he was in office, before he was sworn in by the Senate. Vaccine Research Center at National Institutes of Health. He's also made statements saying he wants a vaccine within the first 100 days of the next pandemic. Lander was also a speaker on the Futures Forum on Preparedness Social Science Research Council. Here he is, right down here. And just one little note here at the end. The Code of the Wild documentary apparently is back on. They have an extended or expanded trailer, although it doesn't seem very much longer.
The ability to perfect the physical and mental characteristics of every unborn child.
I want dark eyes. I want blonde hair. I want then quality.
Where you have two classes of people, the genetically altered elites who have more skill, more intelligence, more talent, and the unaltered.
It is going to cause massive uproar in the scientific community.
But they responded actually to my post. The website has been taken down. All this information has got to be put back in the bottle. What happened to it, somebody asked. National security order, I say, held for review by the Department of Homeland Security. Who knows? Look into Jeffrey Epstein's work with George Church and Bill Gates funding, though. That whole spiel there. And the creator of the documentary responded, "Hey guys, the website was taken down, but we are back at makingpeoplebetterfilm.com. It has been a very rocky road for this film to get funded and finished. It seems like we have been stopped at every turn. There is no way to write the whole saga here. Good news is that we have found a way. The film is almost finished, and I should have a release date for you all in a couple of months. I'll never know everything that has happened behind closed doors, but one thing is for sure, the entertainment industry and film financiers have a lot of ties to China, and nobody wants to rock that boat." Sneak peek at the updated trailer right here at the website. And I point out BGI Genomics, Bill Gates' de-aging lab in Shenzhen. Seems that I missed Shenzhen here.
What I'm looking for is where gene editing is headed. And more the answer is China. I went to China to find out what was happening.
This is part of our efforts to reverse aging in humans.
So I've been involved for over a decade with companies in China.
People look to George Church. He's got gravitational pull in the genomics field.
So keep an eye on that and give it a watch when it's out. Share it with people because it's got a pretty powerful impact. And if you haven't seen it, watch the post-screening interview, I guess you'd call it, Future of Genetic Engineering, George Church, on Rumblind Media's page. I've clipped it before, but it's a very informative kind of lecture, interview. I think everybody interested in this topic should watch. And that's all for now. I hope to be back with